Now, ladies and gentlemen, when they talk of money laundering, what comes to your mind, first of all, before I take you through these concepts of money laundering? What comes to your mind? What comes to your mind when they talk of money laundering? What is money laundering? Wash. Thank you very much. Yes, we are washing dirty money to make it what here clean, right? Money in this case here obtained from dirty places, illegal sources. Ladies and gentlemen, for example, if today you were to go and do what Wajakoya is telling these people outside there, puff, yeah, you go and sell like 2 bags, according to him, 2 bags of bang will give you $6.4 million US. You can imagine that is a lot of money. But remember, in our laws of our country, ladies and gentlemen, here, that money will be illegal. So the question will be, how will you be able to move that money from this dirty position and, of course, sanitize it and put it straight away to your normal banking or rather your normal bank account and start spending this money now as if it's what here is legit. It is legit. That is what we call the concept of money laundering. Laundering comes from the word laundry, to wash, like that. Great. So, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. We are told here money laundering is the practice of covering the origins of illegally obtained money. Ultimately, it is a process by which the proceeds of crime are made to appear legitimate. And then you start cheating people that you started, in this case here, by selling what here, a few things here and there like charcoal, and here now you are a billionaire, celebrated billionaire. But of course, we know that along the way, you must have handled the dirty money, only that you've been able to sanitize it very well. You've been able to sanitize it very well, and nobody now can really place fingers and say that, you know what, Martin, in this case here, used to be a thief. No. You've been able to cover yourself. So ultimately, it is a process by which the proceeds of crime are made to appear legitimate. Laundering allows criminals to transform illegally obtained gain into seemingly legitimate funds. It seems to be a worldwide problem. Criminals want their illegal funds laundered because they can then move their money through society freely without fear that the funds will be traced to their criminal deeds. In addition, laundering prevents the funds from being confiscated by the police. Of course, if you're out there like in America, ladies and gentlemen, money laundering is quite a serious offense. They can put you in jail for so many years. In Africa here, the more you have, the more dirty money you have, the more recognition you get. Actually, this dirty money will be able to put you to high places politically, right? But outside there, ladies and gentlemen, once you have stolen, you would want to make these things sparkling clean. Because in the future, this money, if you're not careful, if you don't conceal your ways, in the future, that money, of course, will be confiscated. And of course, chances are you will be taken to where? To jail. So you must be very good at your game. You must do this wash in a very intelligent way to cover all your ways that you used to get this money, right? So like now we are having so many people, especially these ladies here, you hear like 108 million Kenya shillings has been wired to a young lady's account, 18 years old, 19 years old. And then this lady will be saying that this money will be, or rather was wired by my boyfriend from some country. No, chances are that is money that has been stolen from the US, for example, pensioners, or for example, US remandees, they're normally paid, right? So you get people in this case here getting a very crafty way of transferring money that belongs to the senior citizens, old citizens, right? And then they know that the best place to hide this money, to place this money is in Africa, right? So when we talk of, ladies and gentlemen, money laundering, we must be able to remember the 3 stages. So money laundering usually consists of 3 steps. We have, first of all, placement, then we have layering, And then we have what we call integration, placement, putting illegal funds from the illegal activity into apparently legitimate business activity or property. You place this money, right? Like I was reading something some time back that in Kenya here, most of the buildings that we are seeing, like when you go to Pangani here, very beautiful apartments, that those could be very good conduits of placing illicit money, right? So you go, for example, to the government, you are getting lots of millions and millions, maybe every day you are carrying money by the sacks. Where do you take this money? It can't be accepted nowadays by banks easily. So what you do, you just go to the hardwares, buy things, start, in this case, you're building up like that. So you're placing that money. You're placing that money. Others will call me Mwalimu. You know, for you, it's quite easy. What if we bring this money to your school and they say that it is school fees? I'll tell you, no. You're trying to do placement. And then at the end of the day, you come and tell me, out of, for example, 10 million, give us 7 million. So I give you 7 million. First of all, what is the tax implication, right? Later on, of course, when this money will be traced to my account, you guys will be nowhere because there is no documentation that this money came from you. You'll be leaving me out there to the authorities, right? And I may die poor at the end of the day. So I don't want. So placement, ladies and gentlemen, basically you are first of all getting this illegal money, trying to put it into some bank account, into some business, into some property. You're placing it, you're putting it there. Great. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are told here, the second one, open a cash sales business like hairdressing. Yeah, when you go to do your hair, of course, mostly you'll be told you have to pay what here in cash. Although nowadays M-Pesa is there, but cash sales business is very good, right? And put the illegal funds into the bank accounts there as what here? As cash income. So what I'll do, for example, if it's RCM Online College, when students are paying, in this case here, our fees. So of course, some time back, we used to accept what here? Cash at the reception. So cash is brought there. So then I can easily get a criminal who gives me 10 million Kenya shillings. And then what do? I'll go with these 10 million Kenya shillings. First of all, I'll issue several fake receipts, right? And then, of course, I'll walk to a bank with the 10 million Kenya shillings and place this money. If anybody in this case here tries asking, where did you get this money from? This money has been given to me as what here fees by my students. Any evidence? Fake receipts, some of them, sample basis, they're here. This was given to me by Maria, Pierre, Francis Moy, like that. I've, in this case here, managed to place this money. But again, remember that this money, somebody can easily come and trace it. So then what I need to do is to layer the money. So I go to the second step, known as what here? Layering. I go to the second step, known as layering. So under layering, ladies and gentlemen, here I'm doing what we call stratification. I'm coming up with different strata. So it involves the wire of funds through a series of accounts in an attempt to hide the funds what here? True origins. Ladies and gentlemen, the most important thing is for us to appreciate here that under layering, I've put this 10 million in the bank account, school's bank account. If I leave it there, of course, the tax authorities will start smelling. You know, banks nowadays, they report. Those kind of transactions, they have to report. So I need like to move there, if not now, tomorrow, first thing tomorrow in the morning, and then ensure that I do layering. So some of this money, in this case here, I will get I can even transfer some of this money to my sister. So I'm coming up with different what here? Layers like that. Even at the layering stage, I can have different layers of this money in form of investments. Have some of this money, in this case here, for example, buying some great vans, right, for the school. Have some, so that I don't leave this money in one bank account. That is the essence here. Don't leave that money in one bank account. Try to split this money into different what here layers, into different layers, so that even if by bad luck, because you haven't yet finished your money laundering process, if by bad luck somebody comes and gets this transaction, they should be able to get something very small in my bank account. A lot of my money here should be outside there. Those guys who are out there can come to do what here to defend me later on. Because if the money is found in one bank account, the entire thing will be confiscated, and then of course I'll not even be having anything to defend myself with outside there. I need money outside there, ladies and gentlemen, to be able to do what here to run away from the authorities. When I'm laundering money, I'm a criminal. Right. And then now we have integration. Now we put again this thing together. Now this is, it has become clean now, right? Involves buying of legitimate now goods using the cash after the layering what year stage. So after the entire thing I've been able to layer very well, now what I'll need to do is to integrate my sources. Call those people that I called. My sister gave you some 3 million Kenya shilling. That money I want like 50% back. Even in this case, it is charged. Remember how like politicians are layering, how they are layering, money is in charge. You take like 10 million to a church, you've layered, you've given this as a donation. Then later on, you tell the pastors, in this case, what do you do? Please give me some part of that money back. You make arrangements in advance. So you're cleaning up the entire thing. And then, of course, you'll be able now to consolidate. You'll be able to consolidate all these monies through the integration process. And now you start doing things legitimately. And then you start taking very nice photos, showing people in this case here how you're doing fine. You start in this case here attending interviews, how you used to be very poor. And now you are a rich man. So now you have integrated, everything is what here is clean. So could you kindly give me, ladies and gentlemen, those 3 steps of money laundering that you can never forget? How do we start with those steps? You must, in this case here, give us those steps in the order that I've given them to you. So please remind us those steps of money laundering. Are you able to remember them? Number 1 is placement. Number 2 is layering. Number 3 is integrating. And if you're told here to write some 1 sentence regarding each of them, what will you tell us about placement? 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 Depositing amounts to different accounts. Claire, when you mention the word different, I'm able to see what here? Layers. That's layering, right? Putting illegal money to legit business, like yes, to a legit business. So trying in this case here to have all these monies here, like the 10 million I spoke about, to some kind of a legit business, right? And I've given you a very good way, but please don't come for me. Don't tell me that, Mwalimu, I've got this money that I would want you to help me hide. No, I don't want. Deposit into one account. E.g. school fees, I like that. E.g. school fees, I like that. Great. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, as accountants, we have a responsibility as auditors. The responsibility that we have as auditors, should we realize that the company that we are, ladies and gentlemen, auditing is engaging in money laundering, is engaging in money laundering activities, what should we do as accountants? What should we do as auditors? Yes, whistleblowing. But remember, money laundering, Lily, is quite a sensitive matter. As you think of whistleblowing, you can easily be given the hot bullet. Report to authorities. Which authorities? Which authorities? Look into the source of the money. Thank you so much, Gilbert. Now you are talking about the audit procedures, which are very important. Yes, MLO, money laundering office. Yeah, we have a money laundering authority in Kenya, right? Reports to audit seniors, to your seniors, decline to audit the firm, especially when you must know your customers. You must know your clients from the word go. As I come to Audit with RCM Online College, I would want to look at the integrity of the directors, right? I'll be able to search their names on the websites here, like who is this person? Once I see, ladies and gentlemen, that there is anybody who has been involved in this wash business, then in that particular situation, I'm supposed to decline the auditing exercise. Because in this case here, these guys will automatically put my name into what here risk out there, right? I love that. So know your customers very well. Try to do some due diligence. Try in this case here to do your homework very well, right? Before you accept, try looking for information regarding this organization from the all over. You know, these news are normally all over. You'll know, right? Right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, one thing that you're supposed to know here about reporting to authorities, today, most financial institutions globally and many non-financial institutions are required to identify and report transactions of a suspicious nature to the Financial Intelligence Unit in the respective country. For example, a bank must perform due diligence by verifying a customer's identity and monitor transactions for suspicious activity. To do this, many financial institutions utilize the services of special software to gather information about high-risk individuals and organizations. If suspicious transaction is identified, then these should be reported immediately either to a nominated money laundering reporting officer, should have been but most importantly is that we shall report this to the money laundering reporting officer. For accountants, the most worrying aspect of the law on money laundering relates to the offense of failing to disclose. If you know that there is money laundering happening and then you don't disclose, then you are a criminal. You are a criminal as well. Great. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would want us now then to talk about the audit procedures on money laundering, which you guys had started mentioning. The audit procedures. Audit procedures. You have been given this job, and now you'd want, in this case here, to audit against this vice. The audit procedures. Whenever they talk of audit procedures in an exam, ladies and gentlemen, remember these are good examiners who talk of audit procedures. You should always remember the RA what here? RAEOU, always RAEOU. So here R stands for what here? Analytical procedures. Analytical procedures. We have inquiries, and a third party confirmations. Third party confirmations. We have inspection. We have observation. We have what we call recalculation. So could you kindly now, using these audit procedures, these are general audit procedures, tell me in this case here, what will you do to be able to identify whether this is happening in an organization in your own language? Anything that you say there is always correct in your own language. Like last semester, they gave us so many questions on audit procedures, and so many students were not able to answer anything. These are a good examiner who gives me any question to do with audit procedures, audit techniques, substantive tests. You can also use the same for test of controls, right? So long as you know that they're just general, that I will test this, I'll test this. So I'm here, all ears, waiting to hear from you guys. And then remember, when you are giving these audit procedures, try to own them up. I will do this and this. Try to own them up. Lily, you can't use the word try. When you are talking about audit procedures, you can't tell me try. You're the one doing this. Yes, like Gilbert is telling us, analyze previous incomes of the company in relation to the current years. So what this gentleman is telling us comes from these analytical procedures, that what he would do in this case is to look at, for example, the sales ratios, right? Even the profitability ratios, try to compare them. How comes, ladies and gentlemen, this time round our sales are too high, right? Try to get explanations from the management, right? Analyze the previous. I like this concept of analyzing and doing what we call comparisons to check trends, There is no business that moves, for example, its sales from 10 million, sales of this year was 10 million, and sales of next year becomes 30 million. No, that's abnormal. I would want serious explanations. So I like that. Like, great, George Simiu, I like that. I like this. Under inspection, what George Simiu is saying there is that he will do creditors circularization. That's very good, George, but you see, this creditor circularization falls under where? Here. Inquiries and third-party confirmations. And actually, I'll do this for the creditors and for who? The debtors, even the debtors. If I realize that there is one debtor who is paying us amounts which are really quite high, crazy amounts, I would want to do a lot of background check on this customer, right? So I'll do debtor circularization, I'll do creditor circularization. I would want to know how much they owe us. If I realize in this case, this person says that we owe you guys 2 million. And then the books, you're seeing this person is being booked that he owes us 100 million. Then I'll raise a red flag. There is a problem there. Gilbert, third-party inquiry, inquire from banks. I love this. Inquire from banks if the huge money is deposited was actually supported with invoices. Of course, the banks cannot be having invoices. What I'll do, if I realize that there is a huge deposit in the bank statement here, what I'll do, first of all, I would want to, at times bank statements are forged. They're forged. So I would even ask the bank for what year a statement or a confirmation, isn't it? A confirmation about this particular matter as an auditor, right? And then once I realize that this amount then is okay, so I'll start now inspecting documents. I would want to look at the invoices, isn't it? I would want to see how the vouchers were raised, etc. Right? Thank you very much, Mutembe. I would perform a bank reconciliation with cash book, yes. That's very good. So please, I'm waiting to hear from you guys. This is where very many guys go wrong, and these are free marks. Anything that you say here will be correct. It's a procedure, trust you me. Like now, I'm very much surprised, almost to the point of crying, because there is nobody up to now who has spoken about doing any inquiries from management. That's where we begin from. And inquire from management about whatever they know regarding money laundering in the organization. Then they start telling you blah, 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 blah. No, don't tell me that. Please go and put that down in a letter of what your representation, management representation. Write down, commit yourselves that you have proper controls against what here, money laundering that you normally do, background checks. Give them even a template of the management representation of the things that you want as an auditor. So I would do a management what here inquiry, right? Thank you very much. I can see Dex there. Very good. These points are very, very common. There is the concept of inspecting the board minutes. Yeah. At times when they go intense at the boardroom, they'll always speak so many things. And if they have a very good secretary should be able to minute everything that happened in a boardroom. I'll be able to picture out a situation where these people were arguing about some customer who posted this and this. I'll easily know. So I like this. The concept of inspecting board minutes or review. We like using the word review. I will review the board minutes to see whether there are any matters on money laundering that have ever been discussed, right? I like what Simiu is telling me, cast and cross-cast the fixed assets ledger. So this fixed assets ledger, ladies and gentlemen, I like this, the concept of what fixed assets here were disposed, what fixed assets were acquired. During this acquiring, people are trying, companies are also trying to do what? To conceal illicit funds. They're trying to place. Now we are talking. Nancy, thank you very much, but that is too general, Nancy, really. I will respect supporting documents. Very good, but if I were you, I would qualify that by mentioning some of those documents. Don't give us very general answers. I'm waiting for the last one. 1, 2, 3. Still, I should be able to give me some good points here. And remember, most of the points normally comes from where? Here. I will review, I will do this, right? Like the concept of reviewing bank reconciliations, isn't it? Bank reconciliations, yes. I think we have covered quite enough, and at least from there, you have like 4 good points on what here? Money laundering. So can I close that as a chapter? Can we go to something different now? Can we go to something different? Great. Thank you so much. Great.